Alrighty, guys, we are jumping right into this top 32 round 2, so round 11 in total. We have Stefan against, we saw Keon yesterday, and he's right back. Stefan is playing something we haven't seen on stream yet. He's been dominating the tournament so far, really. Going 8-0-2, and pretty much everybody he's playing against is a pair down.
Yes.
So it's a gift to play against him, really, because if you're able to take the win, it's huge. Your resistance is going to be through the roof.
Because he hasn't lost yet.
Yeah, 8-0-2. He came into the tournament actually 8-0-1. He didn't lose.
So he tied last round.
Yeah.
I mean, how many points do you need to get into the top 8?
I'm not really sure. We can probably get those numbers here in a little bit, though.
It looks like that Stefan started with a draw and an N. He's got two Reggie Rocks down, I believe.
Yeah. Regirock, this is sort of an interesting deck. So it's got the Wobbuffet, so it's going to be shutting off all of Keon's abilities. So like that Mew is pretty much just sitting up there, can't do anything. Or actually, no, sorry, it's a Psychic.
It's just the Shaman.
The Shaman's going to not be able to do anything this turn, unless he's able to get the Wobbuff.
The Shaman's a really decent
especially
thing to set up with in turn one.
With something like what Keon is playing, they're so important to have. So he's not going to be able to play any of his Shamans, and with a deck like this Night March, it's so detrimental to it. It loses so much of its consistency. And against someone like Stefan that's playing this Primal Groudon Wobbuffet list with the Tech Regirocks, it's really good. And I don't think he has a losing record against Night March. Obviously, he doesn't have a losing record at all.
I mean, towards the end, too, Stefan could use the Bunnelby because Night March goes through its deck, and maybe he just can't get stuff set up, but he has the energy for the Bunnelby to just start discarding and putting cards back, too. Mm-hmm. So that's a good play by Stefan to use a Bunnelby in a deck that could possibly use it.
Pretty interesting tech, yeah.
And then we see that Keon has a Mr. Mime in his deck. You know, it's expanded. Landorus has been around.
Landorus, Darkrai,
because Darkrai's been huge. Dark has been huge today.
Yeah.
And he also has a target whistle. He plays one target whistle, so that could be used in the match to bring up something like a Wob to slow down Stefan when he needs to.
Definitely. It's definitely a very interesting top 32. We had William on earlier. He gave us a little bit of insight into this top 32. We got Groudon, there's Dark, there's Night March, there's just so much. So we see an Ultra Ball coming down by Keon. Yeah, there's the Shaman, but does he have something like a Lysander to be able to get out of that bad situation?
He also plays a escape rope, so he can escape rope, but there is a Wobbuffet on the bench.
So definitely a good play, Stefan, keeping two of them down there in case.
It's a solid turn one start for Stefan because maybe he knew that Keon is running the escape rope, so he's... Oh, there's the Lysander.
So there's Lysander. Definitely wanting to do
damage to the Groudon. He gets set up.
Yeah, because once that Groudon goes primal, it gets so much HP.
He can't be affected by trainer cards.
Yeah. Yeah, so much HP. You can power it up on the bench without really
worrying about
yeah,
it.
because it can't be Lysandered up. But we see a computer search in Keon's hand. And a puzzle, so we could potentially go in, grab a puzzle, or grab a puzzle with a computer search.
The Regirock is actually a really solid tech for this matchup too.
Yeah, so with the Regirock, just like touching base on the Regirock a little bit, it has the same ability as Primal Groudon.
Yes.
Or the same primal trait, my mistake, as Primal Groudon. So Steven putting down that Groudon on his bench was actually the only thing that he could have, that Keon really could have Lysandered.
To be able to play the
Yeah,
Shaman.
being safe.
And he attaches DCE to Mew, plays the second Shaman.
It's really interesting, actually. So if he would have brought up the Wob, he would have been in the same situation. Wouldn't have mattered. He couldn't take anything else. It's actually it's a really interesting play, but it looks like he's just gonna Night March with that Joltik on the bench. Looks like he's only doing 60. Oh no, okay, there it is. Okay, 100. So pretty solid attack. Definitely need to see that Primal Groudon come down and get out some. Put that Wob probably active again. Because
I mean, what he plays. He plays ways to get out. He plays 4 Tropical Beach, which is solid.
That's really interesting, actually.
It's interesting, but you can get the draw. So maybe we'll be seeing a Tropical Beach this turn. Maybe he wants to give up the Groudon.
Yeah.
And just
we see an escape
start
rope.
From a redo. He does have an escape rope in hand, but can he escape rope into a Regirock? I don't think he can, right?
No.
I think he'd have to bring up the Wob, which would shut off. What?
That's really interesting, actually.
Which would shut off Keon's last Shaman.
You can escape rope into Regirock.
Oh, you can?
Because it says your opponents. I'm sure the chat will tell us.
Yes.
So, but it definitely says opponents trainer cards. So, but we do see the escape rope. He puts up the Joltik. Wobbuffet goes active again. Just trying to probably save a few turns. Was that a max potion on the Crouton or the the Groudon?
I believe so. He also Primal evolved, so ending his turn there. Fury Belt to Joltik, obviously not going to do much in this match.
Yeah, especially it's times 2 weak.
Times 2 weak, and Groudon's attack.
He's probably just doing it for the
just to get more
the 10 damage, because that's actually important. Because he's only hitting for 100 right now, but now he's hitting 110. I'm not really sure what the confusion is, but I think it's all settled. I don't think there really is.
Stefan also plays a Scramble Switch. We have seen Gold Potion around here in Groudon, but a Scramble Switch, that's pretty good. He plays that one Psychic Energy if he needs to attack with the Wob.
Yeah, it's a really it's such a cool deck, to be honest. I really like the Regirock. I think it's a good integration to the deck. I really like the Groudon and Wob. It seems like a really solid deck.
Yeah. He plays one Robo Sub too, so that could be used to stop a turn.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much you're just trying to stall until
you're set up.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's set up, you just steam.
And Night March is a pretty good matchup for Stefan. You know?
Okay, the first time I'll tell you.
And Regirock, Stefan only plays for he plays for Tropical Beach.
Yeah.
So the Regirock would allow him to get 2 of which back if he needs them to attack, which obviously in this matchup he really doesn't need stadiums to attack.
Definitely not, you know.
Tropical Beach will probably just be to set up and get more cards at the end of his turns, but he will not need them back. So the Regirock is somewhat non-use in this match if you think about it, but it could still use.
Well,
You still get back Tropical Beaches.
Yeah, well, it's cool because he can put it up and he can take prizes with it.
Yeah. And he can also attach 4 energies to it and do its attack.
Yeah, which is, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of energies.
But I mean,
But he still does it because
it's a good way to keep the price
Yeah.
trade equal too. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's not. He can. Keon has the capability of knocking out a Primal Groudon, and Stefan could just bring up Regirock instead and just keep the prizes 1 apiece. You know, instead of risking the Primal Groudon, he has the Regirock instead. We see Stefan play a Karina here. Probably looking for another Groudon. And a Professor's Letter.
I know who it might be, but
yeah.
Looks like Keon has 6 Night Marchers in the discard pile.
So he's gonna be able to take the knockouts and stuff like the Wobbuffet really easily. I don't know if the Wobbuffet really matters at this point. You really just want to get your Primal Groudon going.
Yeah.
Just because it has so much HP, you're not gonna be able to one-shot it.
He's just trying to make assurance. Make sure when he has one up, he has another up too.
Yeah.
Or he has one that's capable of being set up.
I thought it was like a product copy.
See the Psychic Energy on the Regirock.
I feel like that was better than attaching the Fighting Energy, wanting to save it for the Groudon, of course.
Yeah. I didn't need it.
It's like a very vague difference. That's like
And we see the Getsus. He's going to be able to take one. Just the one puzzle at a time. Which is actually good for Stefan. He's probably going to have to Sycamore in the next turn. Well, now he's not going to
get rid of
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
Wait, there's 3 NorCal on top 4? Yeah, why don't you both go on top 4?
And it looks like, I think Stefan passed. Yep, we're going to see the Parallel City come out. He's going to have to discard one of his bench Pokemon. That's a really hard decision.
I feel like Keon should get rid of one of his Shamans because Shaman is a late prize, a late game 2 prizes, easy 2 prizes, especially for Regirock and Primal Groudon. Maybe he knows what he has a future plan ahead using that. I mean, he can't place another Wob, and he can only set up 1 more Groudon, but he has to choose between what he wants to put on the bench.
You know, it's a hard decision, Stefan. The game is really not in his favor right now. Down 2 prizes. Now he's going to have to bring up Pokemon he really doesn't want to. Wobbuffets are really easy Pokemon to sort of bring up and let die.
You watch my games, right? Right?
I usually like do 2 times speed.
So this is sort of interesting about Keon's list. Keon does not really revolve around Dimension Valley. He only plays the 2. But he plays the 1 Parallel as well. Which is sort of risky. I mean, he's doing well with the deck, but you can't... With only 2 Dimension Valley, you're going to have to have those Joltics and the Mew with a Joltik on your bench pretty often.
Yeah, and in this matchup, the Pumpkaboos don't matter because either way, Joltik or Pumpkaboo are getting one-shot by the Primal Groudon. So the Mew going with the Joltik would be easier for Keon because you don't have to have the Dimension Valley. You just keep Night Marching for 2, or with just a DC attached to a Mew.
Yeah. We see a Hard Charm go down on the Groudon. Hopefully that can save him for one more turn. I don't think it really matters. If he has the 6, he's still going to be hitting for no damage.
Yeah, 110, sorry.
Yeah, 110 twice though. So
Yeah, so
it's a
that'd be
220 HP.
So
Groudon.
what, Karma has 240?
I feel like that's what I was thinking, but how much does it actually have?
There he is. I left 100.
Karma
240.
does have 240 HP.
Yeah. So it looks like he brings up a regular or he benches Groudon EX. It gets Lysandered up.
Watching that game, you're like, no, I was changing.
Yeah, he Lysandered. He's using Ultra Ball here, getting rid of another Joltik. I didn't see the other card.
Yeah. At this point, he needs he needs to get as many Night Marchers out of his deck as possible.
I think the Parallel City on to Stefan having to discard was actually the better play later in this game because he can't set up other Pokemon to bring up.
Yeah, and
So
also he had to get rid of his Wob.
Yeah, so that's a great play by Keon there.
And I think 7 is the number of Night Marchers currently.
He is
Going
doing
for 150?
yes,
Or
so
160.
he's doing
It said
170, so
my
he
bad.
has 8 in there.
8 is this card. He was just one off. He knows it too.
That is a horrible feeling.
Especially Keon knowing that this Groudon player, Stefan plays Max Revive, or Max Potion, sorry. He only plays the 1, so he would have to puzzle a time for it at this point because he's already played it down.
And he only plays one Fighting Fury Belt, and it's on that Joltik.
Yeah.
Of course, he plays 4 puzzles of time, so if he needs it, he could get it back, but probably wouldn't use it on a Fury Belt. Maybe late game DCEs, a Night Marcher for a Mew, or a Mew for a Night Marcher.
No, at this point, it's not a good game for the Groudon player, to be honest. Stefan he hasn't been able to get those energies down quick enough to be able to start taking knockouts. Even though this match is somewhat favorable, but that's only if you can sort of start with that Wob and sort of just wall him out of being able to set up.
The Parallel City is really proven to be bad for Stefan too. You know, he can't play anything else on his bench. He needs to find a Tropical Beach. Maybe to put things on his bench and to draw more cards to maybe get a better hand.
He's needed Tropical Beach since the beginning of the set.
If he would have got a Tropical Beach turn 1, it could be a different game. But he ended first thing turn 1, so.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Stefan should scoop. He's in a bad position. But we do see the double puzzle. Possibly going for that Max Potion. Yep.
Doesn't want the Groudon to get knocked out yet. Target Whistle in hand. I believe he has a Battle Compressor too. So if he wants to be risky, he could get rid of another Night
With the
Marcher.
Parallel City out, he can't have any more bench Pokemon.
Oh, it's a Primal. Oops. I didn't. Wait. Is it? Yeah. So he did Primal Evolve.
Yeah, the active is now Primal.
Yes.
It looks like Keon just night marches and passes. See a float stun. Possibly thinking about taking the knockout this turn.
Karina possibly getting nothing other than the Floodstone. He doesn't need any fighting Pokemon at this point. He can't play it on the bench.
Yeah. See a special fighting go on to that Primal Groudon. He's going to retreat and bring up Regirock. And pass. Sort of just taking the knockout.
And Stefan only plays the one Max Potion, but he does play one Pokemon Center Lady. So he could take, well, he could have took 60 damage off if he had it, but it wouldn't have mattered. Just mass damage.
Yeah.
You see Bunnelby used to get maybe a Max Potion and a puzzle.
Yeah. I don't really know what Stefan's game plan is. He's already down 3 prizes late game.
And Keon just seems to be in a really good spot. He's board state. He's got a handful of things if he wants to Lysander, or he's just, his hand's good enough to be able to win this game out after taking a knockout. Trying to thin out his deck a little to get that Versus Seeker that's on the bottom there. I believe he has 2 Versus Seekers. He does.
You see
so this
possible Sycamore.
He will be discarding the Ultra Ball, and that will be it off the Battle Cry Coaster.
Deck is so thin now.
He's just trying to get the Versus Seeker for the Lysander to bring up the Groudon on the bench, because he'll be knocking out the Bunnelby this turn. And that's what he does. It's now 2-6. Kind of a bad place for Groudon here. But how do you think he could come back from this, though?
At this point, I don't even know if there is a way.
Because he's going to have 4 cards left in his deck, Keon is, and he's going to Trainer's Mail, and he's going to have a VS Seeker either way.
All we need is the VS Seeker.
Oh, no, because you can't Lysander. He's target whistling. You can't Lysander the Groudon.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, well, it's Primal now. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I thought it was still an EX, and I looked at how much damage it has. Oh, wait, it's Primal.
I'm going to grab a VS Seeker.
No, but that's actually I think we're heading right. Because I mean, water spout is slow. He wants to be hitting both sides of the field, so he's not going to use
But he will.
Lysander the Bunnelby.
He's taken the 2 prizes off of the Regirock and the Bunnelby, or maybe he has a way to get the target whistle back, because he does play 4 puzzles. But I didn't. Maybe he has the puzzles in his hand because he didn't have anything left in deck. But he does have another VS Seeker in deck, as we saw. Oh, there's 2 puzzles in his hand, then.
It's something I'm sort of curious if Stefan can bring up Bunnelby next turn with an energy and bring up something like his
Should he
Shaman?
double puzzle and get the target whistle back?
I think so.
And we see Stefan scoop.
And I don't run until
Game 1 goes to Keon. Obviously, the Parallel City played a huge factor in that game.
Yeah, it locked, and I don't know where Stefan's stadiums were. He plays 4.
He plays for Tropical Beach. I mean, that's all he needed.
Well, it's sort of an interesting match. I was actually talking to Stefan before, and I said, how is your Night March matchup? Just like not knowing what he was playing against the next round, because it was right after the last. But he said it was good, which sort of makes sense if you're able to keep that wob out and lock him out of setting up. It can be good, but now that I'm sort of looking at it, I feel like Night March can do so much without Shamans, potentially, that it may not matter.
Well, obviously, the first turn Lysander to bring up the benched Groudon was enough to give Keon some space to play the Shamans in order to get going and play other cards he needed and draw more cards to play.
Yeah. Yeah, Orange Rabbits, why would anybody play only 2 puzzles? A win plus, yeah.
Yeah, it was over 119.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I think the chances of Stefan getting into top 8 are so high. You know?
Yeah,
there's so
even
many
taking a loss. He's still in a good position.
With 3 rounds left, he'd only need to win, I think,
one.
Yeah.
He would have 27. No, I think we would have to find out what the cut would be.
Yeah, we should do that.
I want to. I just can't.
Obviously, it's not over. Groudon's an unpredictable force. You see a Shaman start from Keon.
Not good.
Not good.
On top of Stefan already started with Wob.
And he plays the Karina. That's what you want. Turn 1 is Karina, and to maybe get a float stone onto that Wob so you can retreat it.
Yeah.
Or like a Focus Sash, for instance. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want the Regirock to get one shot, so he can get Stadiums back later in the game or attack later in the game. Then again, with this bad start, Keon could end up losing to Stefan, and then they could go to time, and maybe Stefan could drag this out into a tie, and he'd still be in a really great position.
Yeah. Like, 803, it's still a lot of points. You know, it's 19 points. Sorry, 19?
No, it'd be
That's
27.
27, yeah. 27 points. You might as well be 9-0, you know.
Yeah, I have to go get some CP.
We see the Ultra Ball getting rid of a Pumpkaboo and VS Seeker really quickly. He's looking at that Mew, possibly, because he's got a Wob start, so obviously can't play any more Shamans.
Yeah, Keon's gonna be careful. Throwing away VS Seeker's early game is really difficult in a late game.
See Keon kind of slowing down his pace a little bit, realizing that maybe they don't have as much time, trying to will it down a little bit because he knows Groudon's, once it gets set up, it's hard to stop. So maybe he's trying to play a little slower just to not let him set up as fast.
Yeah.
You see the Sycamore.
There's a Fighting Fury belt on that Shaman.
Maybe he's looking for a double colors that he could use to pick up the Shaman and get the Fighting Fury belt back. Or he just didn't want to waste the card, so he attached it.
Definitely. But it doesn't look like we see any type of
Double energy.
Energy at all. But
It's Night March. And
Yeah.
There's multiple ways to go through the deck
well, with Shaman, you're pretty limited.
without Shaman.
Yeah.
Shredder's middle hand. We're going to play it. He does. There's the computer search if he wants the DCE. It's the only thing he can take.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very good for Keon right now. See the computer search coming down. There's several things. He might be grabbing that DC to Sky Return. Of course, Sky Returning with just the Mew out.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
Stefan isn't really able to attack on his second turn.
Yeah, that's really true.
So I believe Keon is thinking it's going to be safe, which it probably is, because everything takes at least 2 energies.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to be able to get that up there that quickly. And there are no Mega Turbos in Stefan's list, so yeah, there's really no way he's going to be able to get up there and start attacking and doing damage. Or at least enough. Of course, there's that possibility he attaches an energy to his Groudon and then scramble switches.
So maybe there's the float stun. The judge just said you have to pull out the Karina. You can't just place the VS Secret down. Although we know the Karina is the only thing in his discard pile, you still have to take it out of the discard pile to play it.
Yeah. We see the Groudon come down with a float stun. He just passes. Obviously, he just wants to leave that Wob up there. Although, I don't know. I wouldn't have put that Robo Sub down. I feel like it's possible Lysander bait now. I don't really see the point in putting it down.
The Robo Sub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
just bring it up and make him get rid of it if he really wants to, because Keon is just looking to set up right now. He's not looking to take prizes because Stefan has 1 energy on the board.
Yeah, which is it wasn't very good. His last turn he didn't attach anything for turn, so that's definitely something you want to be doing every turn with Stefan's deck, especially when you play. He plays 11 energy, which is quite a few energy. But when you're not drawing into him, they're obviously not doing any good for you.
Goes with the Night March, take out the Wobbuffet. Judge asking you only have 2 in there. How did it knock it out? Weakness. Psychic on Psychic.
See it.
And he did play it. He did put it down.
See a DCE on that Mew to be able to use Night March. Of course, Wobbuffet doesn't affect other Psychic Pokemon, so
there's the N.
Yep, he plays an N. Gonna put Keon down a few cards, Stefan getting a new hand, which is definitely what he needs at this point.
Oh, and Stefan also plays 1 Enhanced Hammer.
That is interesting. The Tech Enhanced Hammer was a pretty popular card today and yesterday.
Because Keon plays only 4 DCEs, but he does play a special charge to get 2 of those back, and he plays 4 puzzles. He can just get them back in his hand too.
Yeah,
But a perfectly timed enhanced hammer can completely change the game.
definitely. Especially in like Keon's point of view, like if there's a WAB active, he's not going to be able to really do much.
Yeah.
But of course, you see a Robo Sub. But if he gets like the enhanced hammer down, it isn't able to draw into like one of his other 3 energies or your puzzles.
I don't play TCG anymore.
Oh, you don't?
How can I? Regionals are too early.
I have 2 boxes of the old set if anyone wants to buy them. It still takes
Breakthrough?
breakthrough.
Yeah, no, because Fates Collide. No, wait. No, Fates Collide is made.
What did I get at Utah?
Yeah, get a few cards. Right.
He did shuffle some cards into his deck.
Yeah. So at least a few. We see Parallel City come down. It's going to limit Stefan.
Stefan can now only play 1 more bench Pokemon unless, of course, he replaces it with one of the 4 tropical beaches he has yet to find.
Yeah, we've yet to see in this entire match so far. The match definitely looks like it's in Keon's favor right now.
How much did Keon tell you to sell for? How much did Keon tell you to sell for?
I saw both of mine for 65 each.
What? Give me both for 120.
For BS Seeker.
I don't know what else to do.
Maybe looking for another Groudon, possibly Regirock.
I'm just gonna sell
He
them.
has the Groudon on top though. He would need to put another one down just to be safe.
And like I've
Yeah.
had him for so long, I even kind of forgot about. So in my mind, it's like a 300.
Looks to his deck on last time.
Oh wait, I didn't get him from Utah. I got him from
Nationals.
Yeah,
What? Wait, you got a box store from Utah as well.
but I think I sold those already.
Have you sold it?
Or no, I didn't. No, I didn't get a box. I got because I got top 4. Top 4 is
Top four gets a box.
Do they?
Yeah, top four gets a
I
box.
thought they got half a box.
No, I get half a box.
Fighting to the Regirock. He's already got an energy on there, so
He plays down the Groudon, which could be a bit risky. Lysander's a card. But we see Escape Rope. Oh, getting him out of it. Making him put up that Joltik. No energy.
See the VS Seeker in Keon's hand. And he plays the Getsus again.
Sell it?
Very interesting, actually. But Stefan does have the Karina, so he's going to be able to get something else out. Plays the Escape Rope. See, this is where Stefan's deck sort of backfires on him.
yeah.
So Keon plays the Escape Rope, and there's nothing he can put up because of the ability on the Regirock, but the regular Groudon. So now he's going to be able to do damage to the Groudon. Stefan might have to go in and grab that Max Potion to get that damage off.
Yeah.
But then if he does that, he's not going to have a supporter for the next turn.
And he needs to start setting up. Kind of slow starts here for Stefan. Keon starting out with the Shaman. but he's still,
It's Night March. His
It's
list
still easy to
runs
get out.
very smoothly. It's sort of a weirder list from what we've seen with only 2 Dimension Valley. So we haven't even seen one be played down yet. We see 2 puzzles come out. The likelihood of him being able to get the knockout this turn is really high at this point. He has a bunch of Night Marches in the discard pile. He's getting 2 of any cards that he wants. No, you can escape rope. The escape rope, it says switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with the active Pokemon. You can escape rope. It doesn't affect the active. Unless we're wrong, which we're checking on it right now. Well, no. Look up escape rope. That's the word.
It matters the wording on the Primal Groudon that matters. It doesn't?
No, it's the escape rope. Because if the escape rope affects
But
the
he
active.
only has 3 Pokemon that can't be escape roped.
Well, no, because if it's
But he
switch the active Pokemon with a benched Pokemon,
But
that
it
would
was
affect
Stefan
it.
who played the escape rope.
No, it was Keon. Keon to bring up the other Groudon.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So let's look at this really quick. Each player switches their active Pokemon with one of her benched Pokemon. Okay, just give me 1 second. So they are pausing the match right now. We may have to go and grab the head judge. The time has been stopped. It's sort of a sticky situation because so many things have been played since then that it may not matter. Of course, we probably should have stopped it right as soon as the issue came up. But we wanted to make sure. So it looks like we're grabbing the head judge. We are. So we're just gonna take a small break. Let's talk about this. So the move what happened? Whoa. Okay. So Keon. He had the Joltik active and the Mew on the bench. That was easy. So pretty much what happened was Keon played an escape rope. Primal Groudon was active. So with the wording on escape rope, it says your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. Actually, let me read it straight from the card text. It says each player switches his or her active Pokemon with one of her benched Pokemon. Your opponent switches first. If a player does not have a bench Pokemon, he does not have to switch that Pokemon. So it does affect the active Pokemon, and because of that primal trait on the Primal Groudon, it shouldn't have affected it. So now it just comes down to if it's a reversible game state. Because if it's reversible, 2 prizes from Keon's hand would randomly go back down. This is if it is going to be reversed. It may be too late. Cards have been drawn, so 2 random cards would be taken out of Keon's hand and put back as prizes. I don't think any cards have been shown or like no hands have been shuffled into the deck.
Yeah.
anything like that.
Just the 2 prizes and the escape rope that was played and other cards that had happened, but nothing. Is he saying he played an N?
No, I think he was about to play the N. I think he VS Seekered. The last thing he did was he VS Seekered for the N. But at this point, that's pretty much just what it comes down to. The head judge is over there right now talking to them. I don't think it's really a reverse. I mean, it's having to go back through pretty much Stefan's entire turn.
The escape rope still gets played, and Keon still has to switch his Pokemon, but Stefan can't. And
So the damage would go on that active Primal Groudon, and the Groudon will be put on the bench. That's the reversible game state
you see
at this point.
the way everything could have played out is differently, because if that Groudon wouldn't have got brought up and wouldn't have gotten knocked out, Stefan would have taken his turn differently and approached it differently.
Definitely. Of course, I think the only thing that Stefan played was like a VS Seeker for N. So really not much has passed. But at the same time, so sort of just deliberating. I guess we can do something like this. You know what you're. All right, so it's really interesting at this point. So we had less than 10 minutes left in the match. With Keon winning the first game, it's the game. It is more in favoring Keon on both ways. He won the first game, so if he wins this one, he's going to be able to take the match. And also, if the game doesn't finish, Keon is going to win as well. So the best thing for Stefan at this point is a tie.
Which he seems a little far behind for that, but it's Groudon.
Yeah, it is, and there's definitely room to come back. Of course, he hasn't really had a hand for a few turns now, just because Ghetsis keeps on being played.
And they get a time extension after this too.
Of
Probably
course.
around 2 minutes, 3 minutes max.
Yeah. Of course, they only give time extensions when like 2 minutes have been taken. So just sort of looking at these lists, it's sort of interesting. Keon only plays the one Fighting Fury belt. He plays the Tech Tool Scrapper, the teammates, Ghetsis. He plays quite a few different, just like one-ofs, and in a deck like this, it works pretty well. So it looks like we're going to be getting a ruling here in a second. Let's switch over to the game, see what's sort of going on there.
I mean, he could also play a Hex Maniac too, and he'd have to switch out into the Joltik, and he could knock out the Joltik, and Keon would have to play another Night Marcher if he wished to attack. But it's not looking too hot for Stefan right now. Of course, he's a little bit behind.
At this point, I believe they are trying to reverse the game state. So that would be... So that's what they got out of the... That's what he got out of the Karina. He played that turn. Yeah. Karina goes back into the hand. Okay. Now we're pretty much back at the point that he started his turn. Holding the Groudon. Groudon is going to go back on the bench. And then I believe he, like I was saying earlier, the damage would go on the active Primal Groudon.
Primal, yeah.
Definitely almost let my instincts take over when Gabby said that was super. Dude, I just pointed that out. I know. I was like, that could have gone a very not safe way.
But now I think Keon is sort of looking at this like, I would have played this differently if this would have happened. You know,
I mean, you can't take the things back now.
yeah, it's a really difficult situation. So it does look like the damage is going to be going on. Now, the only concern is the 2 prizes that are in Keon's hand.
Because he was shuffling his hand around too, I believe.
Unless both players can decide on which 2 cards it was.
Because when it's not his turn, that's exactly what he likes to do, is that.
And it does look like he's shuffling up his hand to be able to take 2 random cards off of it. And it did look, I think the 2 cards he flashed was a Pumpkaboo and a Puzzle of Time.
These 2 prizes that they're putting back could be huge, though.
Yeah.
It could completely change the state of the game. So, because what? He could put back everything Keon needs to be able to close this game out.
Definitely. I'm going to try to get the head judge over here really quick for him to tell me, so I'll be right back. So he came up and asked us if we could tell what 2 prizes they were, and there's really no certain way. I think it's a pretty difficult thing. So, but the prizes should be shuffled back up after being put down. But what I'm curious is what type of penalty will be issued to the players.
Maybe a prize.
Possibly.
Because it completely
But for
changed
whom?
game state. Stefan didn't catch it either. So
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe Stefan would get like a warning, or probably a warning, or maybe Keon would get a prize and Stefan would get a prize. I don't know. This could play out weird. Looks like Stefan will get a prize and probably a warning at the same time. They're going to shuffle the 2 cards you got from Karina back into the deck.
Yeah.
Still, we have not seen a Tropical Beach from Stefan either. This is
Really true.
It's place 4, so where are they at? I mean, not being able to get them to replace the Parallel City, and he can't place other cards down with it.
And it does look like Stefan gets the prize penalty.
So
Keon gets the prize penalty. Stefan takes the prize.
yes, so Stefan just needs another 3 prizes in the time that they have left and the extension that they get to win game 2 and hopefully tie it for him.
Alrighty, guys, we're back. The game state has been reversed, and we're back on it. You know, they really don't have much time left in this match.
Stefan, in order to win game 2, would have to take 5 prizes from this point. He would need to take the rest. And did you get a timing on the time extension?
Yeah, it was a few minutes, but we paused it pretty close, so we just let him run for a second and started our timers. Yeah. We stream because we're on our own time. It makes it work really well.
It looks, to me, from the outside, if you're looking at it, just walking by, it looks like they had just started game 2. They've been playing game 2 for about 20 minutes. It's been a slow game for both players.
And with like coming up on almost 5 minutes left, so. And I just want you all to know, like, when I went over there and just was trying to get the time, they were both like really sorry. Like no one caught it. Thankfully, it was reversible, and they're both like no one was to blame for that one. They both misunderstood the card text the same way, so not blaming anyone. We see possibly him thinking about attaching a DCE to his Joltik.
He needs to, as it looks. Anything could happen to the Mew, and if he doesn't have a DC on the Joltik, then he doesn't have anything to attack with. But if anything happens to the Joltik, does the Mew have anything to attack with?
It looks like he's just going to opt to take the prize with the Mew, which is probably what he was. It's a solid play. He killed the Wobbuffet with the Mew that's active. And it looks like there's just a that Mr. Mime active. Doesn't really want to put up anything else to get damaged. And it looks like he's just gonna put up the Regirock and take the prize.
Safe play.
So
it's
now
trying to get back in the game, taking prizes here and there. It's what he needs to do at this point.
Definitely try to get the tie. But at this point, that Regirock is going to go down very quickly. Oh no! And it looks like there's a focus band, so that's going to go off and save that. I didn't realize he had a focus band on it. It's gonna save the Regirock. He's gonna grab a puzzle. He's gonna VS Secret for Karina, grab the puzzle and the Regirock. And again, this match has to finish rather quickly. Otherwise, it's gonna go to time. Although with these decks, there's always that possibility that it can win within a few turns. Oh, and we see the scramble switch to put up the Primal Groudon. And we see the focus band. And he's going to go ahead and discard the stadium, discarding that Parallel City with Primal Groudon doing a lot of damage. Puts up the Mew. At this point, Keon really needs an energy. And there's no way he's going to be able to take the knockout. But He got the energy. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Primal Groudon in the next turn. But now that Scramble Switch is back in the deck. VS Seeker will get it right back with Karina. So he's able to switch into something else. Probably that Regirock on the bench. I agree. This is why it's favored. This is what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be just literally switching around his Pokemon. See Trainer Mail come down. Gotta be the VS Seeker.
Finally, we see a beach played. Maybe
Yeah.
an attack from a Groudon happening there. That's a plus. It's the first time they've seen that this match.
Yeah, and it's doing well. Like, Keon, all of his Lysanders are worthless right now, and it looks like he. Oh, whoa! So
Huge retreat
Stefan
there.
is gonna opt to manually retreat into Wobbuffet
Wow.
and then Tropical
Did he?
Beach.
It's a huge retreat there. Nothing's Lysander bait. You can't Lysander anything on the bench, which is pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty
strong.
It's pretty cool.
You're just gonna have to take individual prizes here and there. Maybe just setting up a Wobbuffet to get knocked out, looking for an energy to attach to the Regirock, send out the other Regirock to get knocked out, looking for another energy, trying to get energies on there to be able to attack before.
And time is about to be called.
We see the handshake. There's time.
That's time called on my side. It should be any second.
Keon.
Ours weren't exactly synced, but it should be happening any second.
Keon beating Stefan.
Oh,
undefeated. Stefan is and no longer. He's still in a great spot.
Realizes there's no way he's going to be able to take 3 prizes just retreating that
Yeah.
Primal Groudon. He needed the Scramble Switch back.
Yeah, I mean he had the puzzle somewhere, but it would have been hard. It was
Yeah.
a good match played by Keon there.
Definitely, and Stefan. So we'll get Keon over here in just a second. Good match played by both players, and we'll be right back.